Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today I will be doing a episode of fixing public transport in Victoria, fixing Victorian public transport. So, I got this idea from Voyager the Second, which I thought it was a very nice idea. I've done certain episodes, but I'm going to rename them. But the reason I put this just episode 1 is because I'll come and rename them after, because I forgot, which one to do. How many I've done, I mean. So, first off, I'll just wait. I'll just wait a few minutes until we get a few viewers. I'll just wait until we get at least one viewer. Watching this video, and I will give them a shout out. I'm just going to view it on the watch page. Okay. I'm just going to just wait again. I've been a bit sick today. I wasn't 100%. Earlier this morning and even midday, I was feeling really sick and just not well. I've started to pick up a bit. We usually will get a few viewers by this time, but I don't know what's actually going on. But I'm gonna jump into it now, and they can watch this later. Okay. So I'm just gonna quickly share my screen. I'm gonna close all personal tabs and share my screen. Yeah, I think you guys can see my screen. So the lines will be renamed. They'll be like line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4. So this is the Melbourne and Geelong metro system, metropolitan system. So you see here, this is the western suburbs, northwestern suburbs. And you can see that we have many lines running in and out, and I'll go through the changes, starting with Geelong. So you guys probably know that Geelong is a V-line station. Actually, guys, just let me stop sharing my screen for a second so I can check times where I get viewers, so I can see my viewers. Zero watching now. I hope that changes. So I'll just reshare my screen. So as you guys know, Geelong is currently a V-line area, but there is growth in Geelong, so the most appropriate thing to do in Geelong would be create a metro line to Melbourne, and also a Geelong metro system that have one line and two branches. So that will be Jan Juc to Avalon Airport and Queenscliff to Avalon Airport. So the new stations will be Queenscliff, Marcus Hill, Curlewis, Leopold, Moolap, Newcombe, East Geelong, where they join up again. They will skip North Geelong and North Shore, Corio. They will skip Avalon and Lara, and Avalon Airport. So it provides people of Geelong to a link to their airport in Avalon. And this is also the Torquay Jan Juc line was an idea that I thought was good because there's a lot of people from Melbourne who like going to Geelong for the beaches. Sorry about that. And they like so in Torquay and Jan Juc and even Queenscliff. So I think that having that option for them to be able to get the train to the beach will be a much better idea, much better. And you may see that these stations is North Geelong, North Shore, and you might also see that the Warm Ponds line will be electrified. Before I go into that, the Queenscliff Jan Juc line will be operated by a company called Geelong Metro, which will be, there'll be like Melbourne Metro, Geelong Metro, V-Line, and then Yarra Trams and all the bus companies. Geelong Metro will just operate that one line, and they will operate and they will take over buses in control of they will take over buses from CDC and Macquarie's, so that the companies will merge, and they would also control the new light rail system. Now, on this line, the green line, line number 4, the Warm Ponds line, you may see it's people would commute from Warm Ponds into Geelong and into Melbourne, and people from Geelong into Melbourne, wherever they want to go. But it also be good for people who just want to commute around Geelong and not want to go into Melbourne. So, and there will be new stations at Grovedale and Breakwater. Now I'll just show you where this line goes to. So just following it. Line 4 will terminate at Sandringham, so there will be Warm Ponds to Sandringham via Flinders Street, Richmond, Southern Cross, Footscray, and North Melbourne. And I think that was a fairly smart idea. To add that in. And now we'll go on to this pink line, this pinkish line. The pink line, I'll just see, it's line number 5 from Avalon Airport. Little River. By the way, the green line, the Warm Ponds line, will actually, line 4, I should say, will skip Little River, so the people who have more express trains and skip a few stations here. So, and before I go into this, some of this stuff probably could happen, but I doubt that definitely all of it could happen. It's probably a quite unlikely thing. But there will be, stations skip. Some stations will skip others. Like some lines, they'll both go past, but they'll skip them. Like South Kensington, the Sunbury line doesn't stop there. Toorak, the Pakenham Cranbourne line doesn't stop there except for early mornings. East Richmond, the Belgrave line doesn't stop there. And also, all lines will have an express train in the PM and AM peaks to provide more faster trains into their destination. So they don't have to go everywhere. I'll just check this. Surprising, no one's joined yet. So Avalon Airport Little River, a new mega station at West Werribee Junction, which will provide people who want to go from Geelong, Avalon to, Werribee, Laverton, Newport, Spotswood even, and Williamstown, because they can change at Newport. Um, and then Wyndham Vale, which will where this greenish coloured line will terminate, this dark green. Kwandong, Sayers, which is on Sayers Road, Tani, which is a station where both the pink and the green line stop at, Truganina, Ravenhall, Deer Park, which all of the lines stop at, and Sunshine, Braybrook, Tottenham, West Footscray, Middle Footscray, so on, Footscray, and all the inner stations. But that line will, this pink line will terminate at Richmond. Now, we'll go on to Orange Line. The Orange Line will start at Bacchus Marsh for the growth in Melbourne's western suburbs, outer western suburbs. And we'll stop at a new station and a reopened station at Perron. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I know I don't actually live too far from these areas, but I have a bit of trouble with pronunciation of some places, I should say. Exford, Melton, Plumpton, Ironsbury, Rockbank, Burnside, Caroline Springs. These are like areas where housing estates and everything are, popping up. Then Deer Park, Ardia, so on. And that line will terminate on the other. The Orange Line will terminate at South Yarra. So South Yarra to Bacchus Marsh Line. Now we'll go on to the Gisborne Line. Now, due to some growth in the northwestern suburbs, particularly around Sunbury and even in Gisborne, Gisborne's doubled the population, 10 years or around 10 years due to housing estates growing up. So I thought because Gisborne isn't one locality, you have Gisborne, New Gisborne, Mount Macedon, etc., all using that one station, Toolan Vale, which is halfway between Melton and Gisborne, which is about 10 minutes apart, 20 minutes apart, from all use that station at Gisborne. So it's a lot of people do use those stations, and the station itself is in New Gisborne. Then we have Riddles Creek, which it's not having too much growth. It does have growth, but not too much compared to other suburbs. And then Monagita, you may as well just put the metro train in there, because V-Line trains from Bendigo take a long time. And if Gisborne's going to get a metro train, why not just stop it at Sunbury, at Riddles Creek? Monagita, which is not having too much, well, it's absolutely tiny, to say the least, but no offense to the people in Monagita, but because the land there is quite flat, it's sort of Monagita Clarkfield, and considering it's near a mountain and not too far from the city, it probably would be a smart idea to, have services that would go there. And housing estates would grow up in that area if because of the land. Clarkfield, which again, what I said with Monagita, Rolling Meadows, which is northeast of Sunbury, northwest, and not just north of Sunbury. Then Sunbury, which will be a major station. Jackson's Hill, which is a housing estate in Sunbury. Diggers Rest, Quarter Park, which there's no one that lives there, like absolutely no one. But, well, there might be a couple of people, but, if houses grow up, because the land there, it's quite flat, people might move in there. And the same goes with Diggers Rest, where not many people use that station itself, but it's it's used rather than more than other stations in Melbourne. Water Gardens, Keilor Plains, St Albans, Ginnifer, Albion, Albion, Sunshine, etc. And a lot of these stations, these interchange stations, well, these stations are in the darker, bigger, the white dot with black on the outside. These are major stations and interchanges. So, for example, Albion will, as soon as the airport rail link goes ahead, Albion will be transferred into a major interchange. Then through the Metro Tunnel, where I've actually forgot to add Arden, I will add that very soon. Down to Melbourne Central, Flinders Street. These two colours almost look identical, but you see this one here is a bit darker than that line. South Bank Domain, which will be an interchange with tram services and also the St Kilda line, which I may as well go through that now. The Williamstown to St Kilda line via Footscray, South Bank, Flinders Street, Southern Cross. So that basically just Albert Park, Middle Park, then St Kilda Beach, I should say, but whatever. South Yarra, where there'll be underground platforms and you can interchange to other services. Toorak, Armidale, Malvern, Hawkesbury, Toorak, Armidale, Malvern, which are express, stops where some lines don't stop at. Now, down here, Carnegie, Murrumbeena, Hughesdale, two lines will pass through there, but one will stop, and Oakley and Huntingdale will be interchange stations. And a new line to Monash University, Mulgrave, Wheelers Hill, and Rowville, which will be good for university students who currently have to catch a bus, I believe, from Oakley. I think I'm not too sure, as I'm not from that region. Then Clayton, Westall, Springvale, Sandown Park, Noble Park, Yarraman, Dandenong South, Hampton Park. These are branch lines. It will branch off at Dandenong, Hampton Park, Lynbrook, Lyndhurst, Melinda Park, Cranbourne East, and Clyde. And on the other one is Umarang, Hallam, Narre Warring, Berwick, Beaconsfield, Princess, which will be a new station off the Sardinia Road, and Pakenham. Now I may as well just jump into the Frankston line, or I should say the Stony Point Rosebud via Frankston line, or wherever it goes to on the other side of the city. I'm not sure, because most of these lines are cross city, except for the few lines in the northeast and east suburbs, which are loop lines. But I believe this line actually goes to Wallen and Craigieburn. The Stony Point ones go to Wallen, and the Rosebuds ones go to Craigieburn, I believe. You have all these Stony Point stations, and a new one at Langwarrin, Rosebud, Dramana, Safety Beach, Mount Martha, Mornington, Mount Eliza, Frankston, so on. You can have a look if you don't know the order of the stations. We've covered the Sandringham line. Glen Waverley, Alamein to that line goes to I think it actually goes to it goes to High Point via Showground and Racecourse, where there will be extra trains during major events. See, some of these lines, there's 2 loop lines around Melbourne, and there's an extra line that we'll use. So loop line like the Belgrave Lilydale loop line will the Belgrave Yarra Glen loop lines, I should say, will use platform 1 at all the at Flagstaff Melbourne Central Parliament, and the Hurstbridge one will use platform the Hurstbridge Don Vale, I think it is. Just let me have a look, because these are areas I'm not too familiar with. Deepdene line will use platform 2, and platform 3 and 4. Platform 3 and 4 will be the Wallen, Craigieburn at Frankston, Wallen and Craigieburn to Stony Point and Rosebud line. So obviously they'll have 2 platforms, one for southbound, one for northbound. And all those stations will be installed with platform screen doors, as along with Flinders Street and Southern Cross Southern Cross suburban platforms. Now, a new underground rail line between Clifton Hill and Flagstaff, and will interchange with Parkville for the Melbourne Metro services. And that will go to Mernda to Fisherman's Wallet to Mernda to Fisherman's Bend via Fitzroy, Parkville, Southern Cross, Flagstaff. There's just the loop lines there, and I think we just haven't covered the I think we've covered most lines, and now I'll just give you a bit of a look. If you missed out, you can pause if you haven't looked it through. And now I'm going to be focusing on bus and tram network maps, and I will go in more detail of these lines, and I'm going to make a timetable for each of these lines on Microsoft Word using a table, and have a weekday or weekend timetable. So anyway, guys, thank you. Well, no one, I should say. Well, I know no one watched this, but thank you if you tuned in after this and did watch this. Thanks for watching, and goodbye for now.